9 things that lower your property value. Hello everyone and welcome back to Novarise, your channel for financial education. So today we're going to talk about the 9 things that lower your property value. We're going to learn about how to identify these issues, how to discover them, and if possible, resolve them in a timely manner so that way it doesn't impact your property value. And towards the end of the episode, you're going to learn to be more aware. You're going to be more aware of what items can impact your value, what to look for, and why not? Maybe you'll get a bonus tip too. Before we start, let me remind you to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications button. All right, so let's get down to business. So we're going to cover this episode in 2 ways. First, we're going to talk about the items that impact your property values based on location. And second, we're going to talk about how your property in itself, things that you do to the property, can also lower your property value. So let's get started first with location, okay? So what are some of the things that impact your property value based on location? Well, the very first thing that comes to mind are the school districts, right? So this has the potential to impact your property value up to 22.2%. And how is it going to impact you? Well, depends. If you're in a good school district, that means your property values are going to go up. But then if you're located or nearby a bad district, then guess what's going to happen to your property values? Yes, it's going to go down, right? And if you're actually wondering how you can find out whether your property is located in a good district or a bad district, there are ways to find out about it online. You can simply visit pages like realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and why not? You can even ask your own realtor. He or she should have enough localized knowledge to inform you about the school districts in your area and explain you how that can impact the value of your property. Now, next item on the list will be sex offenders. I know nobody likes to talk about them, but it is a reality and every neighborhood has them. Did you know that your property value can drop up to 12% according to a study made by the American Economic Review? So before you are looking into moving into an area or before you look into investing in a particular area, make sure you check under the National Sex Offender Registry, and the website is nsopw.gov. Now, next item on the list that could impact your property value, and that is the proximity to strip clubs, okay? Being close to one can actually lower your property value down to 14.7%. And how do you know if there's one nearby the area you're looking to invest? Well, very easy. Just simply use Google Maps. Now, next item on the list, right, in terms of location, being close to noise. Anything that can get you close to noise can also lower your property value. And depending on the type of noise that you're close to, your property values can go down somewhere between 1 to 10%. So some of the examples of being close to noise involves being close to the highway. We also have train tracks, right? Being close to the train. There's also the airport, lots of noise right there. And hospitals. This last one can be a little bit confusing because typically having a hospital nearby, it's a good sign, right? It means that there are jobs in the area. It means there's people living in the area, that there's demand in the area. However, being too close to them is not good. Why? Because of the sound of the sirens going off on and on multiple times a day. So that's something important for you to keep in mind. And once again, for those looking to figure out where your property is located, is it close to a highway? Is it close to a train or the airport or the hospital? Very easy. Just check Google Maps. Or you can also ask your realtor. Now, next item on the list, and that is being close to cemeteries, okay? And the proximity to cemeteries can actually lower your property by 12.3%. And I don't think cemeteries need any further explanation. It's very self-explanatory. Now, moving along to the list, and now we're going to cover the items that impact your property value in terms of the actual property itself. So the first item on the list that could affect your property value is the curb appeal, okay? That is very important. And by curb appeal, I'm referring to the grass. Is it cut? Is it even? Is it cleaned out? And then also the house color, the house paint outside, right? You don't want to have the pink house around the block that everybody talks about in a negative way. And you also want to have a fresh coat of paint outside your house. You don't want to have any paint chipping and stuff like that, because that devalues the value of your home. You don't want any paint coming off. Now, another item that you should take into consideration is deferred maintenance, right? And I know sometimes it can be difficult. Maybe you are a bit short on budget, but then all of this is going to show up at the time you sell the property, at the time you want to rent out the property too, because your tenant or your potential buyer is going to pay attention to every little thing, and it's going to come up in the appraisal. So the HUD actually created a very, very nice comprehensive checklist that you can check out in the event that you want to use it as a reference to make sure that everything that's maintenance related in your property is taken care of. But to sum it up, some of the items that you should really pay attention to is any damage or old HVAC system that you need to look into. Anything related to termite, you should definitely take care of it. Anything related to rotten wood, you need to definitely take care of it, because that's going to eventually damage the foundation of your property. Anything that is related to electrical wires, right? You should also pay attention to. Anything that is related to plumbing as well, you should pay attention to. Or anything that has to do with driveways that are cracked, right? Very important. You don't want anyone tripping in front of your property and then eventually getting into a lawsuit, right? Now, next item on the list in terms of property. But before we do that, if you're enjoying this episode, do not forget to hit the like button right here so you can help this episode rank and help others like you looking for information of this kind. Home improvement. Yes, believe it or not, home improvement can also lower the value of your property. And specifically, we're talking about home improvements not up to code, okay? Listen, I know your uncle, your friends, your cousins, your brothers and sisters, they're very nice and they want to help around the house, but are they licensed? Do they have the code? Do they understand the coding violations in your area? It is very important. Yes, maybe you can save some money when you utilize free labor. Hey, why not? They made it available for you, but whatever you end up saving today, you're going to wind up paying it down the road, because once again, it's going to come up in the appraisal. The appraiser is going to highlight, hey, this item over here that was fixed, this window over here that was fixed, none of it is up to code. And you're going to have to either fix it down the line, which could potentially cost you a lot more given inflation and everything that's going on in the market, or you're going to have to knock down a percentage of your asking price just so you can sell the house. Now, the next item on the list that could devalue your property is having an outdated kitchen and an outdated bathroom. I cannot emphasize this enough at this point. It shouldn't be a surprise for you if you have watched all the shows in HGTV. Everybody loves the beautiful bathroom, the one where you can just lay on the bathtub and have a nice bubble bath. Same thing with the kitchen. Everybody loves a wow factor in their kitchen. Something that is bright, something that is nice and beautiful. And regardless of whether you're selling your property or providing it for rentals, you get to demand top dollars either way, because everybody will appreciate a nicely updated kitchen and bathroom. And the price tag is what's going to prove it to you. So now that you have made it this far, I actually have a bonus tip for you, right? Because we're already reached all night. And this bonus is actually a mix of location and property, right? So what you shouldn't do when it comes to items that will depreciate the value of your property, and that is a bad renovation. So think about it. For example, you have, let's say you have a house in an area where it snows all the time. It's always cold. And all of a sudden you decided to build a pool because you thought it was nice, but hey, it's always cold, right? And maybe you get 1 month out of the year that is warm, and not even, it's still a little chilly, but hey, it's nice because you built up a heated pool and stuff like that. And it's great. Guess what? buyers find that to be intimidating because now they have to worry about liability, they have to worry about the maintenance cost of the property. So eventually what winds up happening is that they just move on to another house, and you will wind up losing money because that means you didn't sell the property quick enough. So because you didn't sell the property quick enough, you're going to have to pay for additional property taxes, you have to pay for more utilities, you name it, right? And the longer it stays in the market, the more expensive these are going to be. And you might wind up having to knock down the price of the house just so you can sell it because of this pull that, you decided to include in a house that was not in the right location. Yes, if you have a house in Florida, most of the houses out there have a pool because the climate demands it, the area demands it. People like to have a pool in there. But if you're somewhere, let's say in Alaska or Illinois, you might want to reconsider. Maybe having a pool is not such a nice thing because it might deter your potential buyer from wanting to invest in your property. Now, speaking of renovation, let's just come back to this item right here. We talked about outdated kitchens and outdated bathroom. If you're looking for ideas, maybe you're in the market looking to renovate, but you don't know exactly what to do, what's gonna work out, what's gonna pay off in terms of renovation. Here is a video where I actually give you a tour of my very first rental, and I'm actually doing a renovation on this rental. And in this video, you're gonna learn about how I run the numbers and what is it that you should pay attention to in order to have a successful renovation that's gonna generate cash flow for you and also get you the top dollars in the event that you do decide to sell it. So happy watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.